Today we are gathered to celebrate the graduation of RLC Class 20-001. For the past 3 weeks, these senior NCOs have learned leadership, counseling, coaching, mentoring, Army writing, critical thinking, and problem solving to prepare them as recruiting and retention section chiefs for their respective recruiting and retention battalions. At this time, it is with great pleasure to introduce to you the Nevada Army National Guard Recruiting and Retention Battalion Command Sergeant Major Joshua Lappin. Command Sergeant Major Lappin is originally from Newcastle, Wyoming. He joined the regular Army in November 1992 as a 63 Bravo light wheel vehicle mechanic. He attended basic combat training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and advanced individual training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Command Sergeant Major Lappin's assignments includes recruiting and retention Command Sergeant Major, Recruit Sustain Company First Sergeant, IADT Manager, Production Section Chief, Battalion Operations NCO for the 17th Special Troops Battalion, Battalion Operations NCO for the 767th Combat Service Support Battalion, Senior Recruiting and Retention NCO, Platoon Sergeant for the Recruit Sustainment Company, and Light Wheel Vehicle Mechanic for the 150th Maintenance Company. Command Sergeant Major Lappin's awards and decorations include the Meritorious Service Medals, 2nd Award, Army Commendation Medal with the 4th Award, Army Achievement Medal, 3rd Award, Army Good Conduct Medal, 4th Award, Army Reserve Component Achievement Medal, 2nd Award, National Defense Service Medal, 2nd Award, Armed Forces Reserve Medal, NCO Professional Development Ribbon with the 4 device, Army Service Ribbon, Overseas Ribbon, Army Reserve Component Overseas Training Ribbon with the 2 device, the Global War and Terrorism Service Medal, and the Korean Defense Service Medal. Command Sergeant Major Lappin is married to Jennifer Lappin for 19 years, and they have 1 son. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Command Sergeant Major Lappin.
Good morning, recruiters, leaders. First off, I wanted to say that it's an honor to be able to speak in front of you today. Thank you for all the hard work, all the long hours, and all the missed dinners with your families, all the dedication that you've put and all the sacrifices that you made to get to this point. The nation depends on you, and doing what you did to get here and continue your service in recruiting is an awesome feat, and I want to thank you for that. I believe the 79 Tango Career Field produces the best soldiers in the Army, and they definitely are the best soldiers that I've ever served with, and it's an honor to be here. So I know some of you, and maybe some of you know me, but I wanted to start out with this. Do you guys remember an email that came out in 2018? It was just 2 words. Cub canceled. That was me. I was on my way to my first drill to Las Vegas with a brand new company commander. We had a 9 o'clock meeting every day. My flight landed in Vegas at about 8:55. I got off the plane and I realized, oh crap, nobody's there to facilitate the meeting. I have the whole battalion about ready to call in on the phone, so I need to send it out real quick. So back then, we had a BlackBerry. I hit my distro list, RRF, and it popped right up. So I put that in there. I hit Cub canceled in the subject line, and I sent. Little did I know that it went out to about 32,000 people across the nation, right? Within a second, I got that gut feeling in my stomach. Oh crap, my day's about ready to get really bad. And there was nothing I could do about it. I couldn't resend the email, or I couldn't cancel it. I couldn't stop it. Within probably an hour, I had about 1,500 hate mails. I had a ton of hate phone calls, and there was probably, 30,000 reply alls to that? How many of you were in the reply all section? So I figured. Talk about a day you just want to crawl into a hole, right? That was, in my mind, that was the worst day of my career, especially as a brand new first sergeant. And in my mind, I made a horrible impression on my company commander. But looking back on it, it turned into a not so bad day, right? We couldn't recruit any soldiers. There was no training seats available. Recruiters across the nation were burned out, and they turned that one bad email that I sent out into a lot of fun, correct? There was memes made of me. I was like Facebook famous for a year, and every year on Facebook, the recruiting Facebook page, they have an anniversary for the Cub canceled, and they recreate all these memes. I get an anniversary reminder of my email mistake. So the point of the story is it's really easy to hit the wrong distro when you're trying to get information out to soldiers, but if you're pushing out information to take care of them and you push out the wrong information, it's all right, just keep moving on. Your soldiers are gonna know your intentions, and they're gonna respect you for trying, and most of the time, they're just gonna laugh with you and carry on with the mission. So there's a few people I remember in my life that made a memorable impression in my life to this day. The first one was my football coach in Wyoming, Tom Wilson. He challenged me. He made me work harder than I've ever worked, and I'll never forget him. The second one was my band teacher. He was a jerk. I've never seen a teacher get away with throwing things across the room and keeping his job, but that guy, he did it every day, so I'll never forget him just because of that. And the third was my Army recruiter. The thing with my Army recruiter is when I met him, he changed my life forever. And 27 years later, I'm still in the military doing what I do. You guys are all in a position to change people's lives forever. It all starts by developing your junior R&R NCOs, show them how to be professionals, give them the confidence they need to work independently, and to show them the importance of maintaining their integrity. Show them that you care about their success and you'll fulfill their promises, or your promises. Your recruiters are hungry, ready to take on the world, and they'll surprise you. You just need to be willing to give them the freedom to maneuver and do that. If you do your job correctly, everybody in your ranks is going to be able to get to your point, get to where you're at. Our nation deserves the best you have to give them, and being a leader to those recruiters is going to make that happen. My final thing I wanted to talk about is, as recruiters, as leaders, we're in a high pressure, high demand environment, and everybody handles pressure differently. Everybody's stress levels are different. The way people release stress is different. You can build the best recruiting team in the world, the highest producers in the world, but if you can't figure out how to maintain a healthy balance within your ranks, with yourself, with your soldiers, your team's going to implode. And mine imploded this year. One of my E5 recruiters took his life about 5 weeks ago. He got into a fight with his wife, got into his vehicle, drove a block down the road and blew his head off. He was dealing with work stress, family stress, the balance of being a new recruiter, and he didn't know how to handle it. He didn't call anybody and didn't say nothing, he just did it. So I can't stress the importance of taking care of these young soldiers that fall underneath your ranks. It's super important. We can't. It was the worst day of my career for sure. I thought the Cub was the worst day. Cub was nothing compared to getting that phone call. So you as leaders have the ability to create an atmosphere and a climate to change that. And it's the most important thing. They're the most important resource that you have. It's not too late to make changes. There's people in your formations hurting, whether you know it or not. Reach out and talk to everybody. Create that open environment so everybody knows they can talk. Because I don't want anyone to have to go through what First Sergeant Renzi and I went through this year. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Command Sergeant Major, for those outstanding words of encouragement.